Hello, grade 8 students. In this worksheet, we're talking about the characteristics of the specific immune response. Question number one. Question number one is talking about the specificity of the immune response. Observe the experiments done in the document below and answer the questions. Before we start, we have some hints. What is tetanus toxin? Tetanus toxin is a potent toxin that is produced by the Clostridium family of the bacterium, Clostridium tetani. That's why it's called tetanus toxin. It comes from bacteria called Clostridium tetani. Tetanus toxin is a toxic substance that can cause harm and can cause diseases and can affect the body. While diphtheria also is a serious infection caused by strains of bacteria called Corynebacterium diphtheria that make toxin poison. It can lead to difficulty in breathing, heart failure, paralysis, and even can cause death. So both of them, they are toxic. Let's start with the first one. And be ready anytime. I'm going to unmute any one of you to answer the questions. So first, let's start with question number one. Observe the figure below. Let's start with the first. In lot A, the beginning of the experiment, after a few hours, we injected with tetanus toxin. What was the result? It was the death of the animal by tetanus. So let's start first with, let's have Sabine. Good morning, Sabine. Good morning. I think Sabine has a problem in connection. Let's move to Ismail. Ismail, good morning.
Good morning, Ustaz.
How are you? Everything's good?
Fine.
Okay, so the first lot, what did they do, Ismail? They injected with tetanus
Toxin.
toxin. What happens?
Death of the rabbit animal.
Death of the animal
He
by
died.
tetanus. So what can you deduce from the first experiment?
Tetanus is harmful for animals.
Tetanus is harmful and it causes
Death.
death. Excellent. So we can substitute all this sentence by a little word. Tetanus is fatal, meaning that it causes death, or it's lethal, meaning that it causes death. Okay?
Death. Okay.
So,
Okay.
so here it causes death since it's fatal. It causes death. Thank you, Ismail. The second experiment. Let's move now to let's move Alma. Good morning, Alma.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fine, how are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. Okay, so in lot B, what happened, Ya Alma? Can you explain for us?
In lot B,
Yes.
the rabbit was injected
With antibodies?
with antibodies from an animal infected by tetanus.
Okay, then
And
few hours
then after
later.
a few hours, it was
Yes.
injected with a tetanus
Okay.
and it
So,
survived.
and the result was surviving. What do you think? What can you deduce here? What did the antibodies do for the rabbit?
That it killed the toxin.
It protects the rabbit from.
It had
So the antibodies protect the animal or the rabbit from the tetanus toxin. That's why the result was the survival of the animal. Why? Injection of antibodies infected by tetanus, meaning that these antibodies, they are against tetanus. And then injection of tetanus, the result was survival. So the antibodies against tetanus protects the animal from tetanus. That's why we have survival. Okay? Thank you, Alma. Let's move now to a new student. Let's have Abbas. Good morning, Abbas.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, the animal was injected with antibodies from
Yes.
animal infected by
Tetanus. Okay, tetanus.
tetanus.
Okay, first
Yeah.
of all, you have to know that the antibodies from an animal infected by tetanus, meaning that these antibodies, they are against what?
Against tetanus.
Excellent. So they protect the animal against tetanus.
Tetanus.
Exactly. Then, few hours later, what happened?
The rabbit got an injection of this
Diphtheria
diphtheria
toxin.
toxin.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we injected with diphtheria. What happened? What was the result?
The animal died.
Oh, died.
Died
How
like
can you explain this result?
um the antibodies only protect
The
what you
antibodies
call
against tetanus protects him, the rabbit only against
from
tetanus and
tetanus.
again not against diphtheria.
Diphtheria.
That's it. Excellent. So here, Abbas says that the injection of antibodies from an animal infected by tetanus protect them only from tetanus. But when we inject it with diphtheria, the animal died. So this means that the immune response is specific, meaning that the antibodies against tetanus protects only against tetanus and not against diphtheria. So question number one, indicate the importance of the experiment carried out in lot one. So importance of the experiment, it showed that the tetanus toxin, it causes death. We substituted this word, Ana Ismail, with the word fatal or lethal. Interpret, well, the meaning of interpret, analyze, plus indication. So after the injection of antibodies from animal infected by tetanus and the injection of the rabbit by tetanus, the animal survived. This indicates that the antibodies protect the animal from tetanus. While in not say after the injection of an animal infected by tetanus with antibodies, injection of diphtheria toxin causes the death, meaning that these antibodies did not protect the animal from diphtheria. So we can conclude that the immune response, part 3, is specific, meaning that antibodies against tetanus, it protects only against tetanus and not against another pathogen, which is diphtheria toxin. Moving now to part 2. The graft rejection is faster when the graft is performed for the second time. So here we're talking about primary and secondary. Justify this statement by referring to the document below. Ali Basma, Ali Fadi Basma. And then we move to Ali Basma, another one. Ali Fadi Basma, good morning. Yes, Ali, you can speak. Good morning, Ali.
Good morning.
Okay, Ali, عم بقولوا the graft rejection is faster when the graft is performed for the second time. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Can you explain the figure in the first graft and the second graft? We have first graft, a skin graft from A to B. Mouse B, the rejection graft in how many days?
12.
5. And the second graft,
Mouse be reject in the graft in 6 days.
so the graft rejection is faster in the first or in the second?
Second.
Second, why? Because it needs only 6 days to reject it. Okay? While the
Yeah.
first one, it takes only
12 days.
12 days. So the second one is faster. Okay? Thank you, Ali. Let's move to Ali Hussein Basma, the other Basma's family, the other branch of the Basma's family. Ali Hussein Basma, good morning. Ali, do you hear me? Uh-oh. Maybe Ali is not hearing us. Let's move to Serene. Serene Ifturi, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, Serene. Ali says that the skin graft is rejected in 12 days upon the first time and rejected in 6 days upon the second. Why do you think? What is the cause of this? We explained this in the session. Why do you think? Due to the presence of what? Why the second graft is rejected faster? Due to the presence of what? What do we have that helps in the secondary immune response? What do we call them? They are called?
It takes a shorter time
Why? Due to the
because
presence of
of the
what?
memory cells.
Excellent. Due to the presence of the mammary cells after the first graph. So due to the presence of memory cells, that's why the secondary immune response is faster and it's more amplified, higher amount of antibody. Thank you, Siri. So this is about the graph. Third graph, skinny graph from C. So can we call this graph from C to B? Here from A to B, the first graph, the second graph from A to B. This is primary, this is secondary. Can we call this tertiary, for example? Or this is another graph? What do you think? Yeah, let's have here, new student, let's have Maya. What do you think? Third graph, it's the primary, secondary, or what? Yes,
No,
Maya.
it's like another graph.
Yeah, and meaning that it's a primary. Why? Because it's from another mass. It's from different mass. It's mass C. Excellent.
C.
So you have to pay attention to this. Okay? Thank you. Thank you, Maya. So this is all about the worksheet, everything related to the worksheet. Hope you got all the ideas. Okay? Thank you.